So I have just returned from Bandai Camden and I was in the store championship there where I played, as you can see, Roronoa Zoro, and we performed very well throughout this entire event, taking second place. We played against some really good decks. We played against two Rayleighs, two Shankses, and in the finals, a Calgara, which I sadly lost to, putting me in second place for the entire tournament, but nonetheless we won some pretty good things such as this finalist pack and also my invite to the One Piece finals. So we got that now, so I don't really have to worry too much about events. And also I played it with Zoro, as you can see, a deck that I feel very comfortable playing this format because one, it feels strong into every single deck that there is, and two, it just feels like a good playstyle for what I like to do in the game. So Roronoa Zoro, in my personal opinion, is a very cool deck to play and is great for character removal, which is perfect because it can go ahead and attack into a character and then go ahead and straight into life or an 8 cost or higher character, which is very good for this leader, and also has a ton of cards that go ahead and rest your opponent's stuff and then put Don on the leader, which is just perfect. So that's why I kind of played it, because of the playstyle kind of fits me, and I really do like the fact that its character removal is all centered around the leader, which is very good. So we're going to go ahead and show you guys my deck list that I played for the Camden Store Championship, give you guys my opinions on some of the cards, and just show you the entire list. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So as you can see, we are playing the leader Zoro, where it says if you have 3 Don on him, if this leader battles an opponent's character this turn, set this leader as active, then this leader cannot attack opponent's characters with a base cost of 7 or less. So this is perfect to just go ahead and swing into your opponent's character and then go straight into life, meaning that they have to waste cards to keep the character alive and also get to aggro their life, taking more and more and more away from them to help you end the game as quickly as possible, which I really do like. Going into the actual deck list though, we start off with 4 Perona and also 4 Hiyori. These are your searches of the deck. They can go ahead and search any slash character, which is very generic, and also any green event, which is very strong. These are typically going to be searching your Tashigis, your Mihawks, or the 3 cost event that can restand your leader Zoro, and that's the main things that you want to be searching. They can also search other stuff such as 2k counter slash cards and also Cavendish, for instance, but they mainly want to be searching those cards specifically because they're the cards that are most likely going to win you the game 9 times out of 10. So those are all the searches that we play. Then for some blockers, we play 3 Koshiro. I tried this at 4, but I didn't feel like the protection was needed enough to actually play it at 4, so I bumped it down to 3 just as a late game blocker to protect us a bit more when we do need it. Most of the time I do end up just using it as a 1k counter, but the times where it does come in as an actual blocker, it really does help. And I'll be honest, in the late game there was multiple times where I dropped an 8 cost Mihawk and then dropped one of these as well to go ahead and protect us against the Rayleigh players, so it's just a very good card as a blocker, but I will normally use it as a 1k counter. A card that I see people actually removing but I really like as well is 3 Kuina. Now, I love this card in a lot of ways. This is essentially another Tashigi in the deck, where you can go ahead and rest a 4 cost character and then give 3 Don to your leader Zoro, which I think is very good. Being able to rest any 4 cost character in the game is perfect because this can be used against a lot of different decks, such as Blackbeard to rest Jesus Burgess. It can be used against Shanks to go ahead and rest that 4 cost blocker that they have. It can be used against Rayleigh to rest any of their characters. This card is perfect to counter these decks specifically, and I really do love it. Now, there are times where this card doesn't come up, but in the later game, it actually can come up in specific situations where you go ahead and drop your 8 cost Mihawk on your 8 Don turn. You can't play the 5 cost Tashigi, you can't play a 5 cost Cavendish, so instead I choose to play Kuina, which allows me to then rest an opponent's character to then be able to swing into that character with the leader, because we actually got to go ahead and put 3 Don onto Zoro and just get that free removal in the character and then go straight into life as well, getting us 2 swings. Kuina is a very good card, and the people who are removing it I think are actually very incorrect, because Kuina can be very good in a lot of niche situations and also just be perfect against those very low costing strategies, which is very strong. So I love this card. I think this card is perfect, and Kuina is definitely a card that I want to keep in the deck. So this card is just absolutely perfect, and I don't know why people are removing it. I really do love it. so we do play it in our list. Next, I don't really need to explain why this card is in here, but we're playing for TCG. This card is absolutely insane in the deck. On your third turn of the game, you want to see this every single time, just for the fact that it does what Karina does, but can hit higher costing characters. Your opponent is on something like Bonnie, well, they just played a Cavendish. I want to drop this Tashigi on my 6th on turn, rest that Cavendish, and then go ahead and swing straight into it for like 9k. This card is really strong and is perfect for what Zoro wants to do. It goes ahead and rests a high costing character, it puts free Don on the Zoro leader. This card is perfect. I don't really need to go any further than that. Like, if I see multiple of these in a game, like, I'm just living, I'm in high, I'm just going great because I get to go ahead and rest your stuff, put a free Don on my leader, and also get a 7k body that I can swing with every single turn. This card is great and helps with aggro and also everything else that we really wanted to do. So Tashigi, just an amazing card. You have to play this card up for in the deck. And then for some less relevant 5-cost characters in the deck, we are playing free Carrot. Now, Carrot is one of those cards that only comes up in very niche situations. It is a very strong card, don't get me wrong, but 9 times out of 10, just like the Koshiro, I will end up just using this as a 1k counter. But the whole purpose of it being in this deck is that it's great against decks like Rayleigh, for instance. Decks that play cards like Buggy or play lots of bodies, so I can go ahead and drop the Carrot, freeze those bodies on the board, and also just go ahead and swing into them without having any resistance, especially against those pesky 1-drop buggies. Like, this card is perfect against those because I can just go ahead and swing 6k straight into a buggy and it's instantly removed while freezing another character, which is perfect. So Carrot does come up in very niche situations and does have interactions against other decks as well. For instance, something like Calgara, I can go ahead and freeze the Calgara or other characters and swing into things at the same time to kind of deal with that situation, making it so that they can't be super aggressive against me. But Carrot is a great card overall, and I'm only playing it at 3 because I feel like 4 would be way too much, because it's one of those niche options in the deck that I've chosen to play. So we are only playing free Carrot. And then for the other 5 cost, which I don't actually think is that good in Zoro overall, but we still kind of have to play it, is for Cavendish. Now, Cavendish is a funny one. He's technically a very strong card, don't get me wrong, but in this deck, he just doesn't do a lot. Every time I play a Cavendish, I'd rather be playing a Kawina or a Tashigi to go ahead and swing straight into my opponent's life and up their character in the same turn to gain that advantage. So majority of the times, I'm just going to be going ahead and using this Cavendish as a 1k counter, and trust me, in all the testing I've done, and even in the store championship that I played in, I never played him in the store championship, and he's just always a 1k counter. In the testing, I've played him probably like 4 times because he doesn't come up that often. Don't get me wrong, when he does come up, he does do things. On a 6th on turn, I can go ahead and drop him down, give free Don to my leader still, and swing straight out a character and my opponent's life, which is very strong overall. But in general, he just doesn't do a lot. So I don't think this card is actually very necessary to play Zoro, but you kind of still have to play him because there's not anything better to actually play in terms of Cavendish. But that's just me, don't shoot me for it, that's just my opinion on the card. He doesn't do a lot, but he can go ahead and be very useful at times. So yeah, we are playing 4 of him, but overall I don't think he's that good. And going into one of the big boys of the deck, we are playing free Mihawk. Now, Mihawk is one of those ones that you can play at 3 or 4. I'm playing him at 3 because I'm playing one other big character in the deck, so I felt like we could only fit 3 of him in because of it kind of messed up with our counter ratio, where I felt like I was drawing too many non-counter cards, and taking out one of this kind of helped that. But this card is very powerful in the deck, don't underestimate it. On our 8th Don turn, we definitely want to be able to to see it, which is why if I do see it in the early game of a Hiyori or a Perona search, I will always add it to hand, because I'm only playing 3, there's no guarantee I'm going to see more, so we go ahead and add it to hand, because if we go ahead and drop it, and we can go ahead and either swing 9k with it most of the time, or just go ahead and keep it up as a blocker, which is very strong, especially as I get to restand 4 Don with him, and then get to play another card like Kawina, as I said earlier on, or even just put all the Don on my leader and swing out a character and then into life again. Obviously, you can tell there's a theme where I just want to kill characters and swing at life every single turn, and Mihawk helps facilitate that as well, being a very big character that restands 4 Don and also has 8k power for that blocker status. So Mihawk is great. And going on to the other big character in the deck, we play one Zoro. Now, this card doesn't actually come up that often, but we have to play it for 2 specific reasons. One, Bonnie. We need to be able to play a card that can help us get around that 8-cost kid, especially when they have tons of blockers on the board, and this is just one that facilitates that a lot. And 2, Enel. Enel is such a problem for this deck, so you have to have a card like this to be able to just swing at them a bunch of times and kill them that way. Now, don't get me wrong, you can beat decks like Enel and Bonnie in other ways with this deck, especially seeing as the leader can go ahead and swing 12 into the kid and then swing 12 again, and then if you have the restand event, you rest the 3 Don that you left to go ahead and swing another 12. So you do got ways to get around that 8-cost kid, but you're not always going to have that available to you, especially when a Bonnie player has a full board. So you got to play something like this, where you can drop it on 9 Don and then just go straight at your opponent's life multiple times, or even at the kid if they don't have it. So this Zoro is purely here for Enel and Bonnie. They do come up, they are played right now, so we play this for that. But outside of that, this card is not needed at all. In other matchups, you don't want to play it because you got to go ahead and focus on the early game majority of the time with this deck. But this is the one card in the deck what you play to focus on the late game. So if you go against a Bonnie or you go against an Enel, then just make sure if you see this in the top 5 when searching with Perona or Hiyori, you add it to your hand. It's gonna give you wonders. So we play one Zoro for that. And going into 2k counters, we are playing 4 Shimotsuki Kozaburo. This card is perfect to go ahead and play against Rayleigh. It will help us remove those pesky buggies, it will rest characters, it will do everything we want, and also be a 2k counter at the same time. He is just the perfect card to use against Rayleigh at times, especially in the early game where you're like, oh, I'm on 4 Don. They've played a buggy. They've gone ahead and rested it the previous turn, so I'm going to go ahead and drop Kozaburo, rest the buggy, or rest another card, and then KO it. So this will help us remove that and just be very strong against that deck as well, because it's a 2k body that we can swing into Shakuyakis or into Boas by putting a Don on it. Like, this card comes up in a lot of different situations as well against that deck, so it's just perfect for that matchup. So I want to play 4 of that. Then we're also playing 4 Toshigi. This is only really here because of, obviously, you have blue decks in the format that can remove your characters, and then you also have stuff like Sakazuki running around, and Lucci running around, and anything that can remove running around. So this is kind of like the card that you play for that, but it doesn't really come up very often in my personal opinion, but when it does, it really is strong, so you want to have it in the deck nonetheless. And then the last 2k we're playing is 4 X-Drake, because this card can go ahead and rest a 5-cost or less, which is its main purpose, and even lets you have a Don back at the end of your turn, which can sometimes be useful if you're going to use something like a Dead Man's Game, for instance. So X-Drake is actually pretty good. He doesn't come up all the time, but when he does come up, he can win you the game, which is very nice. And those are all the 2Ks we're playing. We are playing 12 because of I like lots of 2Ks. And then going into the events, we are playing one 0-cost event because the side of justice will be whichever side wins. We are also playing 2 Dead Man Game because obviously this is great against Blackbeard and also is a 3k counter, which is perfect. So that's the main reason we're playing it, especially for that Blackbeard matchup. If they drop like 3 blockers at times, then you really can't out them. So you want to go ahead and play this so that you can go ahead and rest 2 of them and then swing at your opponent's life, which is absolutely perfect. I'm playing 2 Electrical Luna because this card can go ahead and freeze dominates an entire board, be it against that Calgara player that I played against, or a Rayleigh player where it actually did come up, because the card is just that good, being able to stop an entire board from unfreezing at times, which is perfect. And then the best event in the entire deck, which I mandatory say you have to play this at 4, is for Luffy is the man who will become king of the pirates, because this card is so important. The fact that you can go ahead and restand your leader for additional swings is so good. Like, generally, this card is amazing. I use this card in the mid game and the late game a lot of the time, where there'll be times where I'm on like 8 Don, I don't have a Mihawk, so I'm like, okay, I don't have a Mihawk, I'm normally on 3 life, so I'll go ahead, put 5 Don on my Zoro, swing at your character, go ahead and then restand Zoro, swing at life, and then restand him again to swing at life again, to go ahead and get tons of damage into them and get a lot of aggression into their life. And then on the following turn, because I'll most likely have another one at times, I'll go ahead and do that again, but instead of it being 10k this time, it's going to be 12k. This card facilitates so much aggression against other decks that it really is just a mandatory 4 or staple in my personal opinion, and makes the deck so much better. So this card is perfect, it is amazing. You have to play 4 of it in my personal opinion, because it just helps you get in on your opponent so easy. And also, if there's times where you're like, okay, I don't really need to do this aggression, I want to go at a character again, this will let you go at that character again. So you can go ahead and get 2 swings at a character, and then also get 1 additional swing at life as well, which can come up. So this card is absolutely insane, absolutely perfect. And I cannot tell you how many times this card has won me a game just by being able to restand Zoro and then swing again. This card is perfect and I absolutely love it, and it's one of the main reasons why I choose to play this deck, this format. So that is the entire deck. Zoro is the deck that I really do enjoy this format. This is my deck list. This is the list where I came second and almost came first place, just losing out to a Calgara player in the final round. But I hope you did enjoy the video, guys. I hope you did enjoy my insight into a lot of the cards, and thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more One Piece content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Absolute Duelist, signing out.